Good morning everyone and welcome to Stretford Paddock. That's Old Trafford. I'm Alex and I'm here this morning to bring you the news, and there is plenty of news. All sorts of updates about some ins, some outs, some ins that might not happen, some outs that might not happen. It's all going on at Manchester United. So starting off, this is a bit of a story that Jay covered yesterday and on was Howson's Brew about Gareth Bale. The Times yesterday said that Gareth Bale is open to joining Manchester United on loan. It's looking more and more likely that we are looking at alternatives to Jadon Sancho and that Borussia Dortmund just won't sell. This Times article written by Paul Hurst kind of looked at, that United missed that deadline again on the 10th of August that keeps being bandied about. Also that United won't spend 120 million euros on Jadon Sancho, and that now we're looking at alternatives, and Gareth Bale is another one of them. Jay mentioned yesterday this feels very, very 2013. We've got Thiago Alcantara and Gareth Bale as two of our targets. It's chaos. So yeah, Gareth Bale mentioned yesterday as a potential loan move, and the other one on top of that is Douglas Costa, the Juventus player. See, this both in the same kind of boat. Both going to cost a lot of money in wages. Both will be probably coming in on loan, and very different players to what Jadon Sancho would be. Jadon Sancho is the signing that you're going to get. That's going to be the number 7. That's going to be someone that's going to come in and be there for 5-10 years, or even longer. He wants to be our starting player forever. Whereas Gareth Bale and Douglas Costa, big name players, quality footballers, but are more looking at coming in and maybe just being a stopgap till next season. Now, there's been reports all the way through this that the one reason why Ollie wants to push through this deal for Jadon Sancho this summer is that Manchester United are going to face competition next summer, likes of Real Madrid, the likes of Barcelona. Once all this kind of stuff with COVID has settled down a little bit, he'll be a year more into his contract, slightly cheaper, and you just open it up to many, many more clubs that might want to sign Jadon Sancho. I brought you the news on Friday and I was still a little bit confident that Jadon Sancho was going to come to Manchester United. I'm feeling that there's more and more likely that isn't going to happen. And I think that there's going to be a last-minute deal to try and get someone in to be a forward player. I'm hoping we get someone in a little bit higher quality than Ighalo. I like the names of Gareth Bale and Douglas Costa. There is the chance of it being this Alexis Sanchez style, oh my God, we're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of £1,000s on wages every week for someone that might not even start. But I definitely think we need reinforcements up front. And that Times article, like they said, Gareth Bale open to coming on loan. I mean, I think of course he is. I think he wants to leave Real Madrid. I'd be happy with Gareth Bale if we can get him in on loan. Douglas Costa as well would be a great option. Let's just see where this one goes. Also mentioned in that report in the Times is a couple of outgoings. I'm going to get on to Reguilon later, but this is kind of, I think, one of the keys to this. Jones, Smalling and Rojo have all been told that they can leave Manchester United. I don't think that's something we didn't know. I think we knew that they weren't needed. But yeah, the Times are reporting that one of those or two of those are going to have to leave in order to just kind of to bump up the fee and so we can get Sergio Reguilon in. This is the one kind of twist with this is that it was reported last night that Roma have signed another centre-half or are very, very close. So this was confirmed by the main man, Fabrizio Romano, last night, that Marash Kumbala ready to join AS Roma from Verona. After months with Inter and Lazio in talks to sign him, the talented centre-back is going to join AS Roma. Agreement to be reached on loan, obligation to buy. And he added to the end of that tweet, still no agreement for Chris Smalling. There was also some reports yesterday. A Daily Mail journalist said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had been in talks with Chris Smalling yesterday and he wasn't involved in some of the media work that Manchester United were doing. I think Chris Smalling, they want to get him out of the club. But with Roma kind of, obviously looking at new options, maybe this deal won't go through. I think that if we end up next season with Smalling, Jones and Rojo on our books, I don't think it's going to be a good thing. I don't think we need all those 3 players. I think maybe we need one of them as a backup. I think we've got 5 very good, good centre-halves in Maguire, Bailly, Lindelof, Twanzebe and Mengi. I don't think we need more than one of those 3. Obviously getting them off the books in terms of wages is going to be difficult. I think we've talked about this with Phil Jones going out. Marcus Rojo might be an easier option to get out there. But Chris Smalling was kind of the given that he was going to go to Italy, he was going to go to Roma. it's looking less and less likely, and Manchester United need to shift some of these players on, because if it's impacting on other deals, it's not going to be very good. So looking at the outgoings of those defenders, Rojo and Smalling, Fabrizio Romano was on the United People's TV podcast yesterday talking about ins and outs of Manchester United, and he mentioned that United might be looking at signing another centre-half if they can get rid of Marcus Rojo and Chris Smalling. As mentioned there with Chris Smalling, it's looking less and less likely that both of those are going to be out in this transfer window. So I think, centre-half for Manchester United, I mentioned there's 5 or 6 centre-halves that are very, very good. I think that Ollie only wants to sign a player that is going to indefinitely improve our team, a world-class player. I think that's why the Upamecano links came from, that if you could get him over the line, I think Manchester United would do it. Otherwise, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to risk a young player, because I think we've got 2 young players in Twanzebe and Mengi that can do that job. I think what they want to do is, if they can put a big bid in for a world-class centre-half in Upamecano or someone of that ilk, I think they will do. But right now, I think it's more about getting rid of these players that I think is the problem. And I think that's the key to who else we do business for, especially at the back this summer. So I mentioned Fabrizio Romano. He had a couple of updates for us last night. The first one, kind of related to Manchester United, was that Memphis Depay to Barcelona looks like it's a done deal for €30 million. And that even though United had the first refusal on Memphis Depay, we were never interested in him. I kind of felt that way. Strange one, Memphis Depay to Barcelona. Don't think anyone saw that when he left Manchester United. But Manchester United not interested in him. But his other update and his other confirmation was on Sergio Reguilon from Real Madrid to Manchester United. Sergio Reguilon heavily linked to Manchester United, and reports in Spain last night say that the deal is only hours away. The player happy to come to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano's confirmed this, and again, this is something I don't think we didn't know. Personal terms are fine. Player wants to join Manchester United. The player wants to play, and I think that Real Madrid don't want him. Sevilla have said that this year that they're not going to be able to sign him, so Manchester United are very high up on that list. The player wants to come to Manchester United. It's just a case of the fee. This again was confirmed by Fabrizio Romano last night, that the sticking point is United don't want to pay the €30 million and also don't want to pay the buyback clause. It was also mentioned that the United will come to an agreement some way, shape or form. So I'm more and more confident that this deal is going to be done. Fabrizio Romano saying those things kind of thinks that I think it's going to get close. The reports in Spain that it was going to get done tonight, this evening. I don't think the deal is going to get done in the next few days, but I do think towards the end of this week that Sergio Reguilon will be a Manchester United player, and the reports seem to suggest that. But so let's keep an eye on this one. So there we have it. It's the same names cropping up now, time and time again now, with the season closing in. It's only like 5 days until Manchester United kick off their campaign against Crystal Palace. Right there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting football back. I'm hoping we at least get one transfer through before we kick off the season, and hopefully two or three through before we get through, before the end of the transfer window. But who knows with Manchester United. We'll have loads of good stuff this week. We've got another Tier 1 podcast coming up for you. We've got all sorts of podcasts. We've got build-up to Manchester United kicking off their season against Crystal Palace. So we'll have previews. We'll have all the match day stuff on the day, including a watch-along and the review, fan cams and all that stuff. Make sure you're liking the video, make sure you're sharing the video, and make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you go also check our Twitter, our Instagram and Facebook, Stretford Paddock on all of those. So if you type that in, you will find us. More updates, more up-to-date stuff over on there. I've been Alex, and I'll see you next time.